Hi bolovies, welcome to Community Living with your girl Malebu. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe, and if you're stopping back by and just continuously supporting the channel, you know the jingle by now, so sing along with me. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So thank you guys for continuing to support the channel, for being real ones, for being here, you know, regular regulars. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so we're like 30 people short from 1,000 subscribers. So I'm very much excited, and as you know, we have giveaways for when we get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, what do you do? Please do subscribe. And I really hope that the content that we're releasing, whatever we've released as well, is still very much valuable to you, to your financial journey, to your shmula, to your ching, you know. So as I've mentioned 2-3 episodes before, community living has made it to additional income stream. So we're discussing all things side hustle, all things making additional income. If you have your primary income, if you don't have your primary income, I guess side hustles now become your primary income. So that's what I'm going to be discussing in today's episode. But we're going to be looking at how can you make money online, right? So we've probably seen this, we've probably seen quite a number of clickbait, like make $500 a day, make this and this amount, doing 1, 2, 3 and all those things. So I am going to be debunking some of these myths, if they are a myth, or just, you know, saying, yeah, I've done it, it works. You can go and try it for yourself. And you know, it's going to be different for each and every one of us because there's so many variables, but that's what we're discussing in today's episode. So today's episode is not focused on the whole topic of making money online. There's like 500 different subtopics behind making money online, right? But what we're focusing on is making money online using surveys platform, right? So can you make money doing surveys on platforms that have dedicated their resources to ensuring that, you know, you can get some money from doing studies or from filling surveys with them. So that is essentially what we're discussing in this episode, and I'll be sharing my personal journey as to how has it went for me. Do I recommend that you look into it, or like just don't, right? So the very first thing I want us to like get out of the way is that I will be rating like different platforms. So I'm gonna give you like the platforms that I've used. I'm also gonna give you sort of like a indicator of what they needed for me to get onto the platform, as well as how much I've made, if I've made anything on that platform and so forth, and how it works. So just a brief overview of how it works. So there are quite a number of dedicated channels to this topic and dedicated videos to this topic, so but we're not going to go into the crux of each platform, but we're just going to give like a brief overview, right? So the first platform that I'm going to talk about is Prolific. So if you're looking into the topic of making money online, making money using surveys, you've probably come across the platform called Prolific. So I'm just gonna put up the logo here. So this is Prolific logo, and basically put up how much money I've also made on Prolific. So I've had 17 submissions. They vary from as little as 30 cents in terms of pounds, not 30 cents in terms of South African cents, to about, you know, I think the highest that I did was about £5. So £5 is plus minus $100, so you can get as much as actually I've seen ones where you get paid more. There was one that I fumbled the purse, right, where I couldn't do that survey, but it was about to, if I was able to do it, I was gonna get £6, so that was about 120. So you can get as much as they're willing to pay you, and because of the exchange rate and so forth, it's like good money, right? So that's it when it comes to like prolific. So I'm just going to give it a rating from my experience, right, out of 10. So I'm going to give each platform a rating out of 10. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because there's such an awesome platform to do studies for. Firstly, their studies are awesome, like they're really great. Like you're gonna enjoy yourself while you're doing a study. It doesn't feel like you're filling a survey where you're just like, what's your name, what's your surname, how many people are in your household. Those surveys just get to my head and I'm just like, ugh, right? So first of all, on prolific, you have to fill your about you page. So if you don't fill your about you page, you will hardly get as many surveys as like people like me did, which is a bad thing because I got a lot of surveys, did them in a short period, then I sort of got shadow banned. So people that are on TikTok know what shadow banned means, right? So then okay, I'm not gonna go into the details because I'm already like focusing on it, but it is one of the best platforms, so it does make sense to give it just a bit more time when it comes to discussing it, because that is definitely one of the ways you can make money, right? So as I've already said, I'm going to put up the screenshots here. So I've made over 500 rands, and that's for work that was less than 4 hours. For everything that I've done, I've not spent more than 4 hours on the platform doing the actual work. The problem is you are there guarding whether or not there's a study, because when there's like a study and there's like 80 people that they want in a study, it gets grabbed so quickly. So you spend your time waiting for those studies. So another thing is that you can get the Chrome extension Prolific Assistant if you're already there and you're just like, okay, how do I check? So you can get Prolific Assistant so that it gives you notifications when there's a study, instead of you guarding the platform and waiting for a study and so forth. So you fill the about you page, make sure it's always filled up and so forth, and then you'll get the studies according to your about you page, right? So by the time you get a study on your studies tab, they've already screened you. So this is the only platform that I've seen that is 100% screen proof. Like they're not going to give you gimmicks and be like, no, you're not the age that we want, you're not the race that we want, you're not the what, because even the other platforms don't even give you the reason why they bum you out of a survey. They just kick you out, and soon you're no longer in the survey, and you're just like, but I'm already halfway in the survey, so why are you kicking me out already? Shouldn't your screener being able to see that I'm not the person that you want for the study, you know? So Prolific is really good at that. They screen you when you get a study. When you reserve a study and you start doing a study, you're gonna get paid if you do everything correctly, right? So another thing that you have to be aware of when it comes to surveys is that some surveys have quality checks, right? So what I mean by quality checks is that they will make sure that you're reading the questions. So not all the surveys have, but some will be like, okay, while you're reading, they'll be like, okay, this is a quality check. Some are like very clear about it. They'll be, let's just say, forthcoming, right? They'll be like, we want to see that you're concentrating on the study, so click neutral, right? And if maybe you're just clicking, you're gonna click maybe don't agree or agree, but they told you to click neutral, right? So you have to click neutral, and then they'll do like a quality check matrix of some sort and be like, okay, if you didn't get 80% correct, it means you're gonna discard your study, so you're not gonna get paid for that. Just because you've submitted work doesn't mean you're going to be paid for that work. You're only going to get paid if you pass those quality checks, if it has quality checks. If it doesn't have quality checks, you probably will get paid, right? Because they didn't put their own quality checks to see if you were paying attention to their questions and so forth. So that is just a generic survey thing that you have to be aware of. It's not just on Prolific, but some Prolific studies also have that. So I know I'm already on like 10 minutes and I've just spoke about Prolific, but yeah. So the second platform is Survey Time. So Survey Time is going to get a rating of 6 out of 10 because so far it's the only one that has also paid me, right? So the money gets paid straight to whichever platform that you choose. So I've chose that it goes into my PayPal account, so you get $1. So you get, yeah, if you choose the PayPal option, you'll get $1 voucher for PayPal every single time you complete a study. So the reason why it got a 6 out of 10 is because of two things. One, you have to be continuously screened for those studies, right? They'll ask you the same questions over and over again. We've already filled these in your about you. So they'll ask you your age, they'll ask you your race, they'll ask you your gender, they'll ask you what you had in the past week. So they do a lot of consumer type of surveys, right? So they'll ask you all of those over and over again for almost every survey that you're taking. So it takes up a lot of time, and you're not going to be accepted for all the surveys, because obviously from your inputs, then they're like, okay, no, yeah, you're the person that we want, so you can go through, and so forth. It's a lot. Then the second thing is that regardless of the time that you're going to be using on a study, you're going to get $1. So it could be that you're doing a study that's 5 minutes long, you get $1. You're doing a study that's 30 minutes long. So far I've only seen ones that are 30 minutes long. I've never seen ones that exceed the 30 minutes time, and then you get $1. Then the third thing that I don't like is that they do mostly consumer studies. Consumer studies are boring. They are boring. They basically take the life out of the party, because they'll ask you about similar products over and over again, like the same questions. You could be answering them 10 times. They'll be like, okay, do you like a book? You're like, okay, yes, I like a book. Do you like a book that's folded like this? Do you like a book that is folded like this? Do you like a book that is I'm just like, it's a book and it's folded, and I really don't care if it's folded like to the left, to the right, to the center, to the top. I don't care, if I'm being honest. So if you care about your input in that manner, then you might be like, okay, yeah. But I've never enjoyed a consumer survey. So they've got a lot of those. I've only made $4 on the platform, and $1 currently is sitting at 14 rands in SA currency. So it means that I've made less than $100, and I've done quite a number of surveys. So they'll also bum you out. They'll kick you out while you're at the end. Well, you see that you're done, and then you answer a couple of things, and they're like, nah, you're not our target market. Then they realize that while you're done with the study, and they'll kick you out and not pay you. So those are some of the things that I don't like, where you're just like, if I've done your study and you realize later that I'm not your target group, that ain't my business. Give me my money, So those are some of the things that you guys should be aware of. And as I've said, they pay you straight away when they do pay you. And then the screening takes time, so you're always being screened, so time consuming. It's very much time consuming. Then the third one is YSense. So some people like YSense, but I've never got a single study, like not even one. I don't know if maybe there's a part that I'm missing, maybe I didn't fill something somewhere correctly or whatever, but every single study that's recommended or that's available, whenever I fill it, they're like, nah, you're not the target group, nah, you're not the target group. And one thing I hate is that their screenings surveys or their screening questions are quite long. They take I've noticed on average 2 minutes of your time. So you're there like, okay, yeah, cool, and then like, no, go back, maybe this is not for you, sorry, this is not for you, sorry. And every single time I get a sorry, this is not for me, I'm like, wow, okay, why is it on my page then? Shouldn't they have been able to see that this is not for me? So I've never even received like 1 cent. Okay, I think the money that I received was from the survey that's on the platform. It's sort of like a incentive of some sort. That is the only one that I was able to receive. Then Enlighten Panel. So YSense gets a 4 out of 10 because of that. So as I've said, some people are able to make money from it. So maybe if you look into how they are able to make money from it, then yeah, it could get a better rating than a 4 out of 10. But for me, it hasn't worked whatsoever. Then Enlighten Panel gets a 4 out of 10. So Enlighten Panel uses a point system, right? So you get points and then you transfer those points into a voucher, right? It could be airtime, it could be all those things. So Enlighten Panel is mostly like for South African things and so forth. Then you've got Your View, it also uses points. Your View and Enlighten Panel, they get 4 out of 10. And then you've got LifePoint, it uses points as well. It gets 4.5 out of 10. The reason why it gets slightly higher is that I think, like, you know, they just have, their surveys have higher points than Enlighten Panel and Your View, you know, so that sort of helps. And then you've got Current, my least favorite. So firstly, the first thing that they'll like hype it up about is the music. So it's the whole, you get paid to listen to music. You get paid literally cents. Like, you could be listening to music for 2-3 hours on their platform, which is music that you maybe might not be listening to because the point system is so slow. To get $1, you needed about 9,000 points or something like that. To get those 9,000 points, will you not slave? Will you not? I'm not seeing enough of an incentive to keep on using this platform. It doesn't make sense to me to keep on using it. It doesn't make sense to keep on supporting it. It doesn't make sense to slave so much for $1. $1, 9,000 points, and those points, to get them, you have to log in every single day. You have to listen to music every single day. You have to do that. You have to charge when you're charging your phone, you have to allow them to be able to play their ads. You have to download games. I'm just like, so much slavery. No. So Current gets a 2 out of 10. I don't even know where the 2 is coming from. Let's just give it a 0, guys. So Current gets a 0 out of 10. So I'm going to link all these platforms below so that you guys can have access to them. Don't go to the platforms and like look for all this surveys and stuff like that. So one thing I've noticed works best is if you just wait for the surveys to be sent to you via email and you click on the link to go to the platform. Don't give yourself the anxiety that I did in my first week of doing this. I've made 575 rands. I'm going to withdraw it very soon, and I need, like, for all these platforms, you sort of need a PayPal account. Some platforms where you can like change your points to other things, you're not forced to like have a PayPal account. It could be that you're changing it to a Take a Lot voucher, you're changing it to a Vodacom voucher, you're changing it to a ShopRite voucher. So it is up to you regarding how you change your points to actual, like, you know, funds that will either be like a voucher or like PayPal money, right? So I prefer cash in hand, hence I'll use like PayPal options over like getting vouchers. But I think it's Your View where the Checkers voucher needs less like points versus a PayPal voucher. So I'll probably just get the one that makes financial sense. But yeah, that has been my experience. I hope you're going to also consider like doing like surveys online, because it is free money at the end of the day. You don't need to know any skills. You don't need to be like a certain type of individual and all those things. And it's not something you're going to make a lot of money from. As I've said, I've only made $500, and that's within like 2 weeks period. And I've also been banned from Prolific, hence I'm not getting as many studies. The reason behind that is that if you do too many studies in a short period of time, they sort of see you as someone that's there for making money more than contributing to the community. So just be aware of that as well when you're starting out with Prolific. And another thing about Prolific is that they might not be taking new people. Quite a number of my friends have tried signing up and they were unable to sign up, but just continue to check the site. Obviously, as I delete my account, my space becomes available and so forth. So just continue to check that they are taking new people and so forth, and don't give up on the platform. It's a very good platform. The other platforms are so, but in the long term, they will contribute to your financial success to some extent, because if you can make 5,000 rand a year, it was 5,000 rand you're not going to make either way, you know. So it can help you towards a trip, it can help you towards paying some debt, it can help you towards just, you know, your day-to-day expenses and so forth. Going out, if you know that, okay, I'm gonna go out with my friends and you've made 500 bucks to go out with them, then that's great, you know. So that is some things start to take care of themselves from that money. So it's little, but it's definitely going to go a long way in helping you just achieve some of your financial goals, or just being able to enjoy your money a bit more and have a bit of breathing room. So hence I'm considering such things, and I hope you're going to also consider them. The next episode, we're going to be looking at delivery platforms, and we're also going to look at other money making platforms that are online, you know. Surveys are not the only ways to make money online. They seem like the easiest, but one thing I've noticed is that they're actually the most tedious and the less paying jobs. So you will do quite a lot of tasks, quite a lot of not cumbersome, but tedious tasks of being asked like very random questions and all those screening things that you have to do, and then you don't get a lot of money from it. So in America, they do get a lot of money for things like focus group and stuff, but we don't have that here in SA. So hence, we get paid cents for like our contribution to these studies and so forth, because sometimes they're not even looking for Africans in some of their studies, you know. So it's just like a technicality, and it's just like, whatever. So that's why they don't pay like big bucks to have us on our studies, whereas in America they value their inputs. They want to see, because American culture is everywhere anyways. So if it's successful in America, the chances of it being successful somewhere else are probably high, because, you know, American culture and influence is almost everywhere in the world, and a lot of people accept that culture is like a standard of living, or like as a benchmark of some sort in terms of livelihood. So this was a very long video, but I think it'll definitely help someone to make the decision of whether or not they're going to start making money online, and they're going to start using surveys to make money online. So thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your month, your year, whatever the case might be. May God bless you and your family, and I love you.